Hey folks, Dave Deanhart here with W Designs. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and set up our camera in Lightburn. So what you may have seen in a previous video is that we installed the camera. So now we're going to go ahead and get it set up. So why don't we go ahead and scoot you in so you can see the screen a little bit. And we will get things started. So if you don't have the camera over here as a tab, what you can do is you can select window, camera control, and that'll bring that up. So what I have done is I don't want that to be in the corner here in this side section, but we'll keep it in the middle of the screen for now. I'm going to enlarge it a bit, and what I've done is I've gone ahead and put something here in the bottom of the laser on the bed so that we can make sure that our lens is in focus. I've already manually turned the lens to get that focused. So now we're going to go ahead and go through the process of getting it set up. So you just select your camera here from the camera drop down, which I've already done. Right click, go to Calibrate Camera Lens. From Calibrate Camera Lens, I'm going to select the WN 4K camera. I'm going to select a standard lens. For the preset, I'm going to say none, do full calibration because I've not calibrated this camera on this laser yet, even though you could presumably go select one from here. I would rather just go through the whole process. So what I've got here is I did print out the circle pattern and just mounted it to a piece of scrap wood, and we will use that as our calibration. So let's move you over here so you can see a little bit of everything. We do not need these. Move that out of the way. Go ahead and spray some of that dust out of there. All right, so first thing it says is put the pattern in the center. So I've put it in the center, and then we are going to click capture. And from that capture, it gave us a score of 0.39, says not bad. So we're going to go to next. And then from the next, it's showing move it down here. So we'll move it as far down as we can so that hopefully it'll get that. Let's say capture. Okay, got it, 0.49. All right, now it's asking us to move it over to the left. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and move that out of there for now. So we're going to go here mid-left, and I'm going to guess that my lights are too bright, but we're going to say capture, see what it does. It said it did not find the pattern, so let's go ahead and turn my lights off. We'll move that over a bit, and we will say capture. Still did not find the pattern. Move it over a little and say capture. It is not having any luck finding it. Okay, so are the overhead lights giving it a problem? Could be. Why don't we create a little shade here, say capture. Okay, it did capture it. It said a 0.4. I'm going to move it back over as close to the edge as I can. Keep that shade there, and we'll say capture. Yeah, all right, so gave me a 0.37 that time. So that is not bad. Let's go next. And it's asking for the right side, so we'll move it as far right as we can, and we will say capture. Okay, it didn't find it again, so apparently my overhead lighting is just a bit too bright, so we'll Put a little shade in here. Okay, so it gave us a 0.42. We'll do it next. We'll move to the back as far as we can get. All right, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to like the lighting there too. Let's do a capture. All right. All right, let's turn the machine off because I do have a little light in there still. It was the light that came with the machine. All right, it got it that time, so not bad. Let's do it next. We'll move it to the top right or the front right, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna like that. So I'll tell you what, I am gonna turn my brighter overhead light off here, and hopefully, well, heck, why don't we turn off? Let's see what this looks like. Uh, all right, we'll just mess with the lighting a little bit here and see what we can get to where it may work in our benefit here. So, okay, so I've got my lighting on inside the laser and turn the rest of the lighting off. Hopefully you can still see in here a little bit. Okay, let's try a capture. Bottom right, front right, 0.42. Okay, front left. Let's get this as far over as we can. I know that it's not going to like the light there. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to move that over. If I can get my hand on it and get it scooted, we're going to capture that. Okay, got it. So next one, back left. All right. Yeah, I know it's not going to like that, but I got to have some light back there. So I'll just grab a piece of acrylic here and hold that in place to try to reduce that glare a little bit, and we'll see what she does. Yeah, it's not finding the pattern. Son of a gun. All right. So apparently the trickiest part of this process is the lighting. So, all right, got another light on in the place, and we'll turn that one off. We'll say capture, see if she sees it. Saw it, 0.48, not bad. All right, next one is the back right. So we're going to move it as far back and to the right as we can. All right, and we are going to capture. All right, yay, we got it. All right, that's it. So now we just need to align the camera. So we're going to select the WN4K camera. We're going to select next. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside for now. And we are going to need to run the alignment. So I'm going to turn everything on. And put my covers back in place because I've got them off to allow easy access to everything while we were going about this whole process. So, okay, give me just a second. I need to put one more panel on. Had the side panel off as well because I needed to get into the laser earlier. So we'll get this on here, closed up, and now we're going to put a few standoffs in here. And I think I have some scrap here. Okay, so what it's asking for the alignment is it's saying place a blank piece of material in the center of your workspace that's at least 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. So I'll tell you what, I'll just grab a piece from down here and we'll use it. So, all right, we're going to set this in here. We're going to scoot it here to the back. So this is well over 200 by 200 millimeters. So what we're going to do is it's asking for the material thickness. I know this is 5 millimeter. We're going to set the speed and the power settings for the system. So we're going to set a speed of 50, a power of 60, which we're not. We're going to set a power of about 45 because I know 60 is just going to char it. Scale of 100. So we'll go ahead and do a quick framing. All right, so we're framing it in here. So what I'm also going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we've got our focal set. So we do have our focal set. I've got the engraving head in there, so it's a lot further from the material, and it's also a 2-inch lens versus the 1.5 that comes stock with the machine. So that makes it even further away from the material. Okay, why don't we go ahead and close the lid? And our temp's good. Everything is on. Exhaust is on. We'll fire this up and tell it to go ahead and start. Yeah, that's generating a lot of smoke and nice flame there. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop that because that is just charring the. Well, actually, that's just burning through it. That's just burning through it is what it's doing. So that's not going to do us any good. So what we'll do here is I'm going to set the speed. Normally I'd run it at 100, and I would run my power at about 30 or 40. Let's just do that because that's probably better. I went ahead and flipped the board over. We're going to go ahead and do this again. So yeah, that looks a lot less burnt and should be a whole lot easier for us to reference. So we'll give this a couple minutes to run. All right. Okay, cool. There we are. We're good there. So now we are going to go ahead and click next. I'm going to go ahead and open the lid. make sure that's all the way up. So what I'm doing is I'm making a conscious effort. The lid will stop before it goes all the way up. I'm making a conscious effort to always push it to the top and let go to make sure that it's in place as needed. We're going to hit next. So now what it's asking is it's saying use the buttons to jog your laser head to clear it from the camera below. Laser head's in the back left. We don't need to do anything there. Now we're going to capture the image. So from that image capture, we are going to zoom in on the various sections. So it says press capture image. When the captured image shows on all corners clearly, click next to continue. All right, so I was getting ahead of myself a little bit. So it says pan and zoom. So we're just going to zoom in and we're going to put marks in each one. So we're going to put the mark closest to the center that we can. And you just double click to do that. And I'm going to, yep. All right, so double clicked on number 1. Now I'm going to zoom in to number 2. And I'm going to go ahead and double click. And if you need to double click again, you can always double click again in that spot until you get it exactly where you want it. We're going to go do 3. And yeah, that's pretty good. Then we're going to do 4. And okay. And then we're going to do next. And we're done. So now what we should be able to do is I should presumably be able to go in here and draw a square. Oh, well, of course it's not going to show up there because that's not my back. All right. Let me go ahead and reduce the size of this a little bit. And I'm going to save these settings. All right. And actually, I'm going to remove my X and Y shift that I had in place on here as well. So that. Now we're going to drag this over and get it in here. I'm going to move it here to, I think the third place is the one I liked it in. Yeah. So we're going to put that in the third spot here. So from that third spot, what we can do is we can say update overlay, and we'll get that pulled in here. So we can remove the fade so that we've got a clear picture of that. Why don't I go ahead and just do something here in the center. I'll do a circle, and I'm going to do that on the blue layer because that's my typical engrave layer. And we're going to have it just barely outline the circle that's already there in the center. I figure we'll just yeah. So that should just give us a nice little outline of that circle. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a box around this first position here. And I'm going to kind of make it tight to where it will hug the edges of that. So we're not too far away from the edges there. Hopefully you can see that all right. So I've just drawn a little box there. So I'm going to draw a box here, and I'm going to draw a circle around that center based on what we've got here. So just to go look at what that layer is set at, it's 100 speed, 30% power. We will go ahead and hit start and see how that looks. Okay, so based on what I've got here, that circle and that square are pretty much spot on. So I don't know how well you can see that, but I'll tell you what, I'll go turn the light back on so that we'll have some light in here now that our calibration's done. So you can see right here, I've got a decent little square, and right here I've got a circle, and all I did was use the reference photo for that. So I think we're in pretty good shape there. Obviously, I'll do some testing to test furthest corners to see how well that works as well. But I think that about covers it. Thanks all for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.